Here's how to cut this cowl dress. I already folded my fabric, but I'm just going to show you how to fold it on this paper. So this is how you do it. When your fabric is flat like this, you fold it into two. You fold it into two. Then after folding it into two, you have to slant. So you're going to slant it like this, like the way I've done it also on my fabric. As you're slanting it, you have to take into account your measurements, the shoulder measurement of your client. So now, what determines that slant part, the one that is longer in that slant part, is the length of my shoulder plus the length of the sleeve that I want, how long I want my sleeve to be. So just go ahead and take the width of the end of the dress. I'm using 15 for my customer. So I'm also taking the full length of the dress. My customer's full length is 55. So I'm going to be adding some allowance for the hemming. So that making it 56. So take your full length. You can see that the my shoulder part is not slant the way it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to bring it down a few inches and then slant it the way it's supposed to be. You know, the shoulder part is supposed to come down more, be more slant than the neck side. So that's just what I just did. I just slanted it. Then I'm taking the measurement of my customer's shoulder, which is 16. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. So I've taken the 8, and I'm also taking the sleeve length, how long I want the sleeve to be for her. So I'm going to mark how long I want the sleeve to be, the sleeve length. And then remember that the hand is going to come out from the shoulder, a space from that shoulder for this cowl style. So I'm just marking the place I'm going to tack when I'm sewing. And so I'm going to be taking 8 inches from the edge, and then I'll just stack it there because my customer has like a full arm, so it needs to be very open. So how you decide how much measurement you are going to take here is that the sleeve width that you want, the sleeve width, the bicep, round the bicep, you divide it by 2, and then that's what you take from from the edge onto the inside. That's where you are going to tack. Let's just make the neckline a little bit more bold. And so I've taken 3 inches for the neck width. 3 inches for the neck width. Don't take 3.5. 3.5 will be too wide. Take 3 inches. So that's exactly what I've just done. Well, I already put a picture of the style on thumbnail, but for reference purposes, this is the style. You can see that it also drapes very, very well in front, at the center front. Unlike most cowl styles, this one drapes exactly from the front as well. So I'm just sticking that my 3 inches I told you for the neck width. I take 3 inches, and then I just want to uh make it clear. I take it for the neck depth of the back. I take 2 inches. Then for that of the front, I am taking 7 inches because I don't want it to be too deep. So I'm taking 7 inches. In order to achieve that drape I showed you was in the front of that dress, I'm going to create a slant, let the center front have more excess fabric so that it can drape. And what I'm just trying to do is to create a to cut out more line for the fabric. I'm just doing this freehand, so there's no measurement to this. So I'm just giving the front of the fabric excess fabric so that by the time I sew it, it's going to fall. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut the shoulder part. I'm just trying to confirm that the full length of the dress is what I want it to be, because the last time I sewed for this client, she said her dress was too long, so I want to make it a bit shorter. So I'll just go ahead and cut the hem of the dress to trim it by the length that we've measured. I will trim the center front, that excess fabric I told you about. That's what I'm trimming now, because the center back is on fold, as you can see. So it's the center front that we are cutting. Just go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin all the sides together. All the sides I'm going to be sewing, I'm just going to pin them down because this fabric moves a lot. So I'm just going to pin down the center front and then pin the shoulders and then pin everything together so it doesn't move while I'm sewing it. At this point, I'm just going to be cutting out the bias tape that I will be using in turning the neckline, both the back and the front. So I'm just going to cut out a long bias tape that can turn both the front and the back at once. So I'm gonna head to sew the center front. As you can see, I just sewed by the edge, just by quarter of an inch through the edge. I just sewed it from the neckline straight down to the end. So I'm just going to be taking out all the pins that I used to hold it earlier so that I can sew the shoulder the way I said. So remember that while sewing the shoulder, you have to tack this point here, the point that you marked earlier. You have to tack it there because the hand is going to be coming out through the hole that is left. So you have to tack it at that point. Remember to tack it. Remember to notch it now so that you can remember where to tack it. So I've just placed it shoulder to shoulder, and you can see that the dress is already giving the shape that it should. So I'll just go ahead and sew through the places that I just pinned, that is the shoulder. I'll sew it up to that point that I said I'll tack, and I have notched mine. So that I'm just noting the point where I notched so that I remember to tack it there while sewing the shoulder. So I have taken to the machine to sew the shoulder, and you can see that I directly tacked it where it was supposed to be, and the extra space that you see there is where you're going to put your hand through wearing the clothes. So I'm just going to go ahead and take out the pins that I used to hold the clothes together while sewing. So I just go ahead and use the bias to turn the neck of my dress round, and then I'll hem the bottom of my dress. And that's it, guys. That's your cowl dress. Please leave a subscribe if you want to continue to see videos like this, and leave a like for this video. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.